shot by Buddha. Facebook Gaming in the building.
Into the end zone! Five Nations, stand up!
Can one Cameron Ward return the Tennessee Titans to prominence? Lil D, #1 pack smoker in all the land. Oh man, busy day. Really wasn't feeling it earlier, man. The energy wasn't there. I got out of that one kind of quick, but we here, man. And some good news. We're gonna have Cam Ward as a group that's going to be part of Netflix's Quarterback Season 3, premiering July 14th with Jaden Daniels, Joe Flacco, Baker Mayfield, and one Cameron Ward. Now, this is amazing to get to see a Tennessee Titan quarterback on a Netflix show. That's one. Two, I don't think if you draft a quarterback at one that you will get a look like that. We didn't have any primetime games last year, nor do we deserve one, because the team wasn't good and the coach got demoted after the first month of football. So this is a step in the right direction. And I think even the biggest Titan haters or the biggest Titan detractors or the biggest unbelievers in Cam Ward or Amy Adams-Strunk at least has to say this is the most pivotal time, I would say, for the Tennessee Titans in the next decade. The stock they built up with the Derrick Henry years, getting to an AFC championship, having a #1 seed in the AFC with Julio Jones that year, to now, after getting rid of a GM, offensive coordinator getting arrested mid-season, to getting rid of a coach, a GM, and a coach, now to having Mike Bergonzi have 2 good off seasons, 2 good draft class. Chad Brinker steps down. You still have Amy Adams-Strunk, Burke Nahill, Mike Bergonzi, Reggie McKenzie, and Ziegler. So you still have structure and order, but you also have a new stadium coming. You have a Super Bowl date, a #1 overall draft pick at quarterback. You had the most money in cap space to spend out, retain your roster, and still have the most cap space right now in the league, which some people argue me up and down about until they was proven wrong. And you just had 8 new draft picks. One of your rookies last year was a rookie Pro Bowler. It's a lot of promise with this offseason, with a new stadium, with new jerseys, having all the legends come back. Can you think of another time where the Tennessee Titans have an opportunity to play 500 football next season? We're not talking about going from 4 wins to the Super Bowl like the Patriots. We're just talking about a team that back-to-back years have had 3 wins. If the Titans can play around 500 football and put themselves in the hunt come December, I think they can set themselves up for big things going into Cam Ward year 3, new stadium, new jerseys, and could play themselves into some primetime spots, as well as this is the first time in a while I feel like we got a chance to have a real superstar face of the team with Cam Ward, because I think he's a guy that can sell tickets and is marketable. Got one of the best celebrations in all of sports. So I just think, like, if Cam Ward goes out and meets expectations with a great roster and great staff around him, if he breaks Ryan Tannehill's 38-19 this season and pushes for a 4,000-yard passing season and has a breakout year, it could do wonders for the franchise. Even though all the success we had with Derrick Henry, it wouldn't propel us into prime time like having a young hot quarterback, because as great as Derrick Henry, Hall of Famer, already is, Derrick Henry himself can't propel the franchise to the height of being in prime time. I think if Cam Ward materializes which should not be a lot for him to materialize. We're talking about like breaking the 38-19, throwing for like 25, 30 touchdowns. Like, that's just a baseline. If he's to hit that, Tennessee Titans could really be working with something that they haven't had in a long time, which is you only got two guys you got to re-sign, Peter Skoronski and Jeff Simmons. You already took the option on Skoronski. They should go ahead and extend Jeff Simmons and then start piling draft picks for 27. They could put themselves in a very good position to be a team where this Titans team and this franchise could finally put some respect on my name. I ain't telling you no more. Put some respect on my name. You know what I'm saying? Like, Titans got to put some respect back on their name as a team that can get themselves up off the being at the bottom of the league, because the Jets had 3 first-round picks this year. They get 3 next year. They're trying to get off the bottom. The Browns is trying to get off the bottom. Two first-round picks the last 2 years. And as well as the Raiders, who just took Fernando Mendoza and brought in Kirk Cousins, and got fleeced out of a situation with Baltimore. But nevertheless, like, the Raiders are trying to put it back together. Now that I got through that spiel, I'm gonna get caught up in the chat, and then we're gonna move on to the next session of Le Shop Talk. Rabbit, what up? Statman in the building. Kicks Wheel, Suave, ATL now said go Cavs, baby. My cousin Donovan Mitchell. Hendrix was popping. He said, would I be happy? My number is 8. Ocho, like Chad Johnson. My number is 8. And in a second, I'm about to tell you why. Can't believe the Lakers got swept. I mean, LeBron worked a miracle against the Rockets, but then, like, without Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, I don't think it's capable of carrying. It's like LeBron kind of burnt himself out last year. It's just getting there, and then they just ain't got enough. Stevie B, tighten up. Just some hope, Rabbit. Just a little bit of hope, man. Just a little bit of hope. But I mean, Rabbit, look what y'all have done. I don't know if you've seen my NFC South breakdown on YouTube, but I gave the Panthers a lot of love this offseason. Their front office in Carolina. This is the first time I see them putting it together correctly since Cam Newton. Q, comedy 2 times. Yeah, Oklahoma City is just too tough right now. Corey. All right. Now we caught up in the chat, man. Let's get back into it. He asked would I be happy with a 500 season? It's 17 games, 18 weeks, 17 games. So it can be an even ball. But what I mean is the schedule releases tomorrow. The Titans start off last season on the road in Denver, the Rams, Colts, and Texans. We knew the Colts was 8-1 to start the season off last year. We knew the Texans had the best defense in the league. Broncos is top 5 defense in the league. A team that played in the AFC title game. Then you turn around and say you got the Rams, who was my pick to win the NFC last year, who was like a play away from a Puka Nacua sideline catch away from going to the Super Bowl. So when you put all that together to say, like, those are the 4 teams Cam Ward started out off his season with. Cam Ward played the Patriots. Cam Ward played the Seahawks. He played the 49ers. Cam Ward did not have an easy run and go of it. So if we had one of the hardest schedules in the league last year, being a team that came off a 3-14 season. Last year was a 3-14 season. So if we get any kind of favor in the schedule, saying the Titans don't start off slow and they start off decent and progress throughout the year in a position where they could shoot like 500 ball, and like if things is going well, you could shoot for a 10-win season, would be like through the roof. Realistically, if they won 7 games, you doubled your win total from the last 34 games you played. Just think about that. The Titans have won 6 out of a possible 34 last games in the 2 years. If they win more than 6, they will have doubled their total from the last 2 years combined. So that's why I say my number is 8. I can't give them any excuses. You got a number 1 overall pick, 2 first-round picks this year, another top 50 player in Anthony Hill Jr. You just had the most cap space of any team. You bring in Bellinger. You bring in you restructure Calvin Ridley. You give a big deal to a slot receiver, Wan'Dale. To me, Wan'Dale is the best slot receiver we've had. We talking about like we going back a long way before the Titans had a really good slot receiver. You got Chim DK coming off a Pro Bowl season. You got Alec Iomana, who has to get better from. He's the new Nick Westbrook of Kenne. You got KJ Osborne. You got Bryce Oliver, Xavier Restrepo. You have a pretty solid running back group with 2 running backs that are running on their contract years. Got Nick Singleton in the draft, which was a steal. This team offensively should not be that last 4 years of 16 points per game. This team should be, if this team is scoring 20 points per game and they could play around 500 football, I'll be through the roof. I'm not this unrealistic fan that's saying we're going to win the South and challenge for, the AFC. That's not realistic. Even though we seen that happen with the Bears and the Patriots last year, like, let's just crawl before we can walk, right? Let's score 20 points. Let's score 30 points for the 5th time in 4 years. Let's do some of those things and some milestones. Let's not call a timeout, get a penalty, miss a kick, and give up 3 before the half. Let's not take L'Jarius Sneed out after not running the clock out against Denver and then watching your backup cornerback get dunked on by Cortland Sutton to go from having a lead at halftime in Cam Ward's first game to being down without the ball. Let's get the kick ball out so we don't take a penalty after a timeout and miss a field goal before half, get a penalty and give up a field goal. Like all those blunders. Let's like the Detroit Lions game the year before and the Chargers game last year. Let's actually have a quarterback sneak in the playbook when asked at the podium, where even if we have to take a tight end and let the tight end run the QB sneak, like so many teams do. Mark Andrews, I could think of one. Jonnu Smith for the Steelers is another I could think of. Let's have some things like that so we don't have 4 attempts from the 1 yard line, 1st and goal, and not score in 2 different games that we lost. Let's get some things like that going before I can start, thinking that like as good an offseason as the Texans had, that we're not the favorite in the AFC South. The AFC South is pretty competitive this upcoming season, barring Daniel Jones returning healthy and Jaguars not being decimated by losing talent. All right, let's see. Ravens Joe in the building. What up? Yeah, you got to go back and watch that one, Rabbit. I did every division. So if you like a team and it's not the Titans, I did AFC South, NFC South, AFC East, NFC East, AFC North, NFC North, AFC West, NFC West. Obviously, I left the NFC West last because the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. But I did 8 different videos back to back to back. But go check them out on YouTube. They're all broke down. I go through each division on who had the best offseason in free agency, draft, and coaching staff, and kind of rank them. So, that's some fun thing to do. You could check it out. You could disagree. You could agree. I could care less. But I put in some real time. So when people say, you only know about the Titans, like, bro, we spent extensive time researching other teams and going through their rosters. I know other teams' rosters better than a lot of people that come in my chat trolling, telling me I'm wrong. Imagine coming into my stream or coming into my video or coming into my content and telling me I don't know and I know more about the players on your team than you do. That's happened like on a lot of occasions, and some of y'all should be embarrassed. Don't let Unc know more about your team than you know about. Will LeBron stay or go? I mean, he might as well stay at this point. Like, you in the Showtime Lakers, you in LA, they didn't got your son out there. This ain't LeBron's fault though. Like, Luka Doncic needed to be healthy for them to have a shot. LeBron should not be carrying in his 40s. Corey said, I think we get 7. Yeah, I mean, 7 is an improvement over the last 2 seasons combined. I know Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons will not be happy with 7, but you know, we get to that 8 and 9, get to that 500 ball and give ourselves a shot at a wild card. I'd be more than happy. I think Cam is going to get better and better because of his mentality, but we can't give him any excuses. We have to set the standard because with his talent and what they put around him, and imagine going from Bo Hardegree in your headset to Brian Daboll, a former coach of the year, in your ear telling you the plays to run. You know, I think Denard Wilson did an outstanding job of what he was given, but we definitely upgraded having Robert Saleh run the defense with improved players. I still think they got to add some more depth to the secondary, but this is going to be an interesting year for us. And just imagine the Titans starting off hot and how they could get themselves into some flex and some swing games with Cam Ward being on Netflix, new jerseys, a new stadium coming. Like, it's a lot that could happen for the Titans this year. This is a very important time for the Titans to take a swing in the trajectory of this franchise. You say you think it's just an O-line. I disagree with all the O-line talk. Is it ideal? Do we get Linderbaum or Biadasz or McGovern in free agency? No. But I'm just not this person that sold on like Lloyd Cushenberry was just all-world center that rarely played, and Corey Levin was a solid backup. But to me, it's no different. We drafted the center I wanted to draft for the last like 4 or 5 months. So I'm purposely happy to have Pat Coogan and Schlottman. There's still some opportunity for them to go out and sign another vet. But if you're telling me we're working a new guy at center and we rotating their right guard, and we got Jackson Slater and Carmona, and maybe they bring Zietler back or don't bring Zietler back. But I'll tell y'all this. Ben Jones was the best center we've had that I can remember in a long time, and he was a 4th round pick. Sometimes tough and smart beat athleticism and flash in the pan talent. We have moved the smallest guard in the league, Aaron Brewer, an undrafted free agent, to center, and then the guy goes on to Miami and becomes a Pro Bowler. Sometimes we over worry about things that, because coming into those seasons, we're saying like we're gonna have Aaron Brewer playing center. He's too little. Then he gets put on a few pounds and play center, and the dude's a Pro Bowler. So it's like I'm not so much worried about the O-line as a lot of people are. I'm just not. And I think play calling has a lot to do with it. If you call a flea flicker against the Houston Texans with Danielle Anderson and Will Hunter, like, why would you run a flea flicker versus the best defense in the league when you can't run the football? You see what I'm saying? Like, I think when the Titans second half of the season after the bye, when Stalker started taking over the run game from Bill Callahan stepping out, I just think if this team with a better offensive scheme, better offensive coaching, and more weapons, if this team can like play balanced football, meaning run the football, actually have Titans was the worst screen team in the league the last few years under Callahan. Add in a good screen game, good motion, run the football, cut back on the penalties and fumbles, like the Titans offense will be just fine. They just need to move the ball and give themselves some confidence. Because you got to think, eight confirmed drops in the Broncos game week 1. How many illegal procedures, penalties, and like bad play calling was there? Orbit motion, Chim DK blocking for Tyler Lockett. Like, it was a bunch of slow developing plays and things that I expect Brian Daboll to simplify the offense and just let the players play. Get the ball in your playmaker's hand and let's pop. For Athena 523, we had bloopers in the coaching department for real. I mean, like, just think about when Cam Ward was at the podium and there's like, who do you have in the coaching staff to lean on? And he's like, nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's got guys he can lean on at this point. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, Hendricks, I don't even need them to be creative on offense. Good teams can line up and run basic things. The Seahawks did not run anything complicated in the Super Bowl. They ran stretch plays that they ran all year, and they let their wide receivers get in position to win ones. Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't even play the second half of the game. The offense was very pedestrian. The Patriots offense was very pedestrian all year. Drake May played out of his mind, 70% completion percentage, 4,300 yards. Like, you know, but it's not like they're just like lighting it up, you know, scoring 40 points a game. These are teams that run basic offense. They don't turn the ball over. They don't beat themselves. They play the field position game. When they get in the red zone, they score because they got guys that can get open and dunk. B. Walker, what it do, player? He said LeBron gonna leave. If he does or doesn't, it don't matter. If it's 3-14, push the new stadium into the river. Like, bro, I'm holding them to a standard. Like, this team cannot come out and be a 3-14 team that's like fumbling the ball into the end zone, or like offensive tackles getting penalties like 4 or 5 times a game. Like, it can't be that. It can't be the team that ended the season with no cornerbacks on the roster that had an active interception. We talking about Xavier Woods had 2, Cody Barton had 3, and Roger McCreary had 1 pick. Roger McCreary did not end the season on the Titans. Xavier Woods is no longer on the Titans, and Cody Barton may lose his job to Anthony Hill Jr. So we didn't even have anybody on the team that had an interception for the Titans last year. Now, Cam is going to be on the Netflix show Quarterbacks Season 3 with Jaden Daniels, Cam Ward, Joe Flacco, and Baker Mayfield. So it should be a good show. All those QBs I like. So it's gonna be fun to watch. I think they got some gold content, because when you think about what happened last season, let's just start with Jaden Daniels, a guy that was in the NFC Championship, and you know, there's no Cliff Kingsbury. The team, Austin Eckler got injured. Brian Robinson got traded. Scary Terry wasn't available at all times. Deebo Samuel played okay, but maybe was not the juice. And they ended the season with Marcus Mariota, Traylon Burks, like Jeremy McNichols. It was very serviceable at the end. Lose Bobby Wagner, lose Jeremy Chin. They lost a lot of good players off that team that was 1 game away from the Super Bowl, to a team that's like at the bottom of the division in the NFC East. So watching Jaden Daniels highs and lows of that season, watching Cam Ward be the #1 overall pick, and your coach is effectively fired 1 month into the season, and your offensive coordinator is not calling plays, your quarterback's coach is, to Tyler Lockett walking out and just quitting the team mid-season. You know, it's like Calvin Ridley breaks his leg. You got rookies out there, receiver with you. You know, it's just all bad. You know, offensive line, J.C. Latham gets hurt in the first half of the Bronco game in week 1 after moving from left tackle to right. You know, it was a lot going on for Cam Ward, and he didn't play well to start the season off last year. And it's to be expected with everything that was going on. Then Joe Flacco starting off on the Browns drafting Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, having trading Kenny Pickett, having Deshaun Watson still under contract. 8 different quarterbacks was on contract for the Browns. Flacco gets traded in division to the Bengals and turns right around and plays these same said teams. That's going to be interesting to watch after one of the better quarterbacks in the league, Joe Burrow, gets hurt. Then you got Baker Mayfield. The Buccaneers have won the South every year for all the way back to the Brady days, and you know, they get down to the last week, you know, a lot of injuries, and the Panthers wind up winning the division, and the Falcons go on a win streak to end the season. And it's gonna be a fun watch, I think, to get to see quarterbacks whose seasons was just completely up and down and all over the place. Yeah, like it's so much of a hindrance that everything that happened to these 4 quarterbacks last season. I don't think they could have picked a better quartet of quarterbacks to follow and, you know, watch and see how their mindset was going through all the adversity. Oh, Cam is fine, bro. Cam is fine. So this is gonna be an interesting watch. I can't wait to sit on the couch and binge watch Quarterbacks season 3. I think this has been one of the craziest off seasons I've ever seen in NFL. Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh, McDermott, coaching carousel, player carousel. The NFL draft was bananas. Like, and we still haven't even got to June 1st cuts here in a couple of weeks, in about 2 or 3 weeks, and then after you get past the June 1st cuts, like the rosters are gonna change one last time before we go into camp. Then college football season gonna hit. This is gonna be fun. I think this is gonna be an interesting season. My dog sent the high five for the 100 jewels. Appreciate the love, my boy. Dragon stickers in the chat. So this should be fun. All right, now that's 30 minutes. The kind of the spiel I wanted to go through. Man, not a lot happening in the NFL right now, but the schedule's released tomorrow, and then that's more content. But definitely, this is a turning point for the Tennessee Titans franchise. They could like fall through the floor, or this could be like the springboard for the Tennessee Titans returning back to prime time.